Okay, great. So we're going to start right off. Robin, Linda, if either of you have anything, you can always just unmute yourself and let me know if you need anything. Otherwise, let's start to get settled on the mat, maybe sitting up on a bolster or a block or a blanket. And if you're comfortable with your eyes closed, please close your eyes. Let's take a moment to notice how we're feeling. This might be physical sensation that comes to mind first, or you might notice first your emotions. There might be thoughts attached to whatever it is that you're feeling. Just notice that. Sweep your attention throughout your entire body and pause when you come to places in your body that feel good, alive, and healthy. And we'll spend a couple of moments with the breath. So keeping it simple. As you breathe in, notice that you're breathing in. And as you breathe out, notice that you're breathing out. As you breathe in, allow the breath to go deep into your belly. And as you breathe out, allow the breath to leave your body slowly. We'll take a couple more deep, slow breaths here. So as you inhale, notice how your belly expands. And as you exhale, the belly relaxes towards the spine. I'm going to chant the peace mantra. This is traditionally chanted before yoga classes. And if you know it, you're welcome to join in from your house. The last line is Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And so you can pipe in at that point too, if you like, and just listen to the sounds. So take a big inhale. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanao Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Tamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, and then whenever you're ready, go ahead and allow your eyes to open. All right. Sitting there breathing sure felt good. I feel like I could just do that all night, but let's move. And if you decide, of course, that you want to move less, then move less, however the mood is striking you. It's really, I'm in Portland and it's just dark. It's like, it might as well be midnight. So I hope you have a little more light down south. So we're going to start as we have been with a strap and have 2 blocks nearby too for a little bit later. And then come to lie down on your back with your knees bent. And take a moment, just feel your body. You can have your knees fall together. It doesn't need to be particularly an adamant or vigorous situation. Just relax there on the ground. And feel yourself supported by the earth. Take a few breaths. And then we're going to do this. It's Supta Pada Gustasana, reclined hand to foot pose that we've been doing. So whenever you're ready, go ahead and lift the right leg up. Loop the strap. I've been having us loop a little bit high on the foot at the base of the toes. You can get into your calves a little bit more that way. So if you feel like it, you can. The arch works too. The arch has a different benefit, which is more that you're sort of pulling right straight down the femur into the hip joint. So they're both good. They both have benefits. Take a few breaths here, just sort of opening the hamstring, and always you can bend the bottom knee if that feels better for you, might. And then we have been using the hand to sort of manually move the right hip. So let's keep doing that. Why not? We'll put both of the straps into your left hand, and then with your right hand, we have the L, we have the thumb and the forefinger make a sort of an L, a right angle. Place that thumb right into your hip crease, and then draw that flesh towards your left heel. Your leg will turn out a bit. See if you can maintain that and maintain the stability of the bottom leg as you drop. Don't drop, go slow. As you descend with care and time, taking your time, the right leg over to the right. And then you'll notice that essentially we're in triangle pose, except lying on our back. We'll do triangle pose on our feet a little bit later. So just for this moment, notice how it feels to be here doing the pose. The front leg, so the right leg is turned out a bit. And the grounded leg is rooted. And so you might even feel the inner thigh coming towards the floor just a bit. All right, and then let's bring the leg back up to center. Take the straps into the left hand, and then just let that leg come over to the left a little bit. We're not gonna take in the full big twist, just a moment or two with this particular stretch. All right, and then bring the leg back up. And let's take happy baby pose, but just one leg. So grab hold of the outer edge of the right foot. At this point, you're probably gonna wanna bend your left knee. You can also use the strap. And a couple of breaths. You might notice how here too, the leg is turned out. After you've been here a couple of breaths, if you like, you can try straightening the left leg. It's a very interesting situation. And now we're more or less in a lunge or in warrior one. Enjoy a breath or two. And it's very hard, I think, to ground that bottom leg here. That's okay. Just keep the intention of it. All right. And then slowly take your time, release the foot, bring it back, lower it down slowly. And then with the second leg, left leg up, loop the strap where you like. You try both ways. You can see if you like it around more around the ball nut joints of the foot, or maybe the big arch feels good tonight. Either way, it's not sort of the topic of the class tonight isn't the feet like it has been. So really just a little experimentation for you. Take a few breaths here. I like this pose like an opportunity to gaze at the feet, gaze at the toes, have some appreciation for them and all that they do, which is significant, just really miraculous. 1/3 of the bones in our body are in the feet. They're all working in this beautiful orchestra to keep us upright in space. Let's take both of the straps now into the right hand. And with the L of your left hand, you can take that into the hip crease. And then we're just manually taking that left hip towards the right heel. So we're externally rotating here in the hip joint. And then both of the straps into the left hand, staying as firm and grounded as possible through the right leg. Let's have the left leg come out any amount to the left. Doesn't have to be a lot. See if you still have that nice turnout in the left leg. So there's this external rotation. The right thigh is as grounded as possible. Okay, good. And then inhale, it will come up. Put the straps into the right hand and then over to the right just a little bit. And the hip might pop up, it might not. Enough so that you might feel a stretch in the outer seam of the leg. And then back up to center. And to start, I think it's probably best to bend the right knee. And then we're going to take the left foot into happy baby pose. So grabbing hold of the outer edge of the foot or the strap. And have a couple breaths here, just a little opening of the hip. And when you're ready, you can straighten the bottom leg if you want to, if it works. And notice I guess it's like a humble warrior here. The legs are in a warrior position. So it's warrior one, and we have a little bit of turnout, a little bit of external rotation in the front leg. Take another breath. All right, and then come back up to center, release the leg and slowly lower it down. And then hug your knees in towards your chest. You can make some side-to-side motions. You can make circles with your knees, anything that you like. And we'll begin our rocking and rolling along the spine like we've been doing. So starting with some momentum. Kind of, I think, a fun movement of the body. So a couple like this with just sort of swinging using momentum and gravity. And then after a couple of those, start to slow it down and feel your core engage to pull you back and to bring you forward with more control. So it goes a lot slower. And you might find at the top a little boat pose. Then you go back. Another little boat pose. When you roll back, you can really sort of tuck your tail in and see if you can roll over all of the vertebrae in your low back. If you want to make it hard, do that. All right, and then last one, and then let's just pause here. In Navasana, take a couple of breaths. And then that's probably good. We'll come to stand at the top of the mat. I think tonight, let's start with the dynamic twist, just get a little energy going here. So arms are nice and floppy, and we're gonna come up on one foot and just swing and tap. All right, and then let that slow down. Into Tadasana, mountain pose, we'll begin our sun salutations. But before we do, just take a moment. You might close your eyes, feel your feet, feel yourself supported. Notice how your hips are over your heels, more or less, if they're pitched, if your hips are pitched forward over the balls of the feet, bring them back. And the shoulders are over the hips. The eyes are soft. Take a couple of deep breaths. All right. And we'll do a few sun salutations with lunges. So inhale here. Exhale, hands together, center of the heart. Inhale, reach and stretch the arms up and overhead. Exhale, bow forward over your legs. Inhale, come halfway up, roll your shoulders back. Exhale, fold, step the right foot back into a lunge. Let the knee come down. We're going to pause here. You can have your hands on your thigh, roll your shoulders back. Nice. Take a couple of breaths. Been doing a lot of hip things when I've been teaching, so we're going to continue with that. Go ahead and take your left foot out to the left and turn the toes out. So we have here too, a little external rotation, and then bring your hands on the inside of your foot. Everybody's going to be different here. If you have your blocks, you might want to have them and you come down to your forearms. Just come to a spot where you're feeling the stretch that you want to be having. So it's not too much, not too little. You might be pretty upright. You might be all the way with your forearms on the floor. Okay, and then we're going to come back upright and take your right hand towards the middle of the mat, so it's right underneath your face. Rotate over to your left leg and take your left hand and your left thigh and draw the flesh of your left thigh towards the knee to rotate your spine and torso. Maybe look up. Nice. Last inhale. And then exhale, come back. Walk your foot back into its lane, and then tuck your toes, step all the way back to plank pose, and come to the floor. Let's do Sphinx together. So elbows are under the shoulders, palms come to the ground. And then you can isometrically drag your forearms back towards you. That should release your shoulders away from your ears and send your heart forward just a little bit. So a lot of engagement here, probably. Take a breath, and then we'll do Sphinx roll-ups, which we've been doing, I think, at least for a class or two. So from Sphinx pose, draw your belly back towards your spine, lift your belly, lift your hips, lift your thighs, and then you're in a forearm plank. As you inhale, lower thighs, lower hips, lower belly, and then finish your inhalation with a nice Sphinx pose. Exhale the belly back towards the spine, lift the hips, lift the thighs. Inhale, roll back down, finish that inhalation with a nice, big, crisp Sphinx. Good, and then do 4 or 5 of these. So I hope is feeling like you're getting some strengthening work in your core. I certainly am feeling that. So again, on the exhalation, the belly draws back towards the spine, lifts up, hips lift, thighs lift, push down with the forearms, and then inhale, roll back down. All right, if you're still feeling benefit, how about 2 more? And if you're done, you're done. You can go back to down dog or take child's pose. And when you finish that second one, we'll slide the hands back and the hips come up and back, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths, just doing what you do. So that could be pedaling out your feet. It could be bending both of the knees and seeing how your sit bones can go up so high. Could be rocking side to side. Okay, we're going to do a three-legged dog together. So step your left foot in towards the center of your mat and reach your right heel up and back behind you. And then externally rotate the leg. So that thigh bone is going to move away from you. The right hip is moving over the left hip. And then you can let the foot be heavy. Take a couple of breaths. I think coming light on your right hand makes sense. When I do that, I find I can get a deeper stretch. And then slowly take your time. Inhale, straighten the leg, level out the hips. Exhale, lower the leg. And then the right foot's going to be in towards the midline. The left leg is going to lift. Reach out through the heel. Open the hip up. Notice how we're rotating at the hip joint. And then bend the knee. Let the foot be heavy. Slowly straighten the leg. Level out the hips again. And lower the leg down. Last breath in downward facing dog. And then, as you're ready, inhale, reach the right heel up and back. Exhale, step it towards the top of the mat. Take your time. Take a few steps if that's helpful. And we'll bring the hands to the thigh again and do the whole hip stretch sequence on this side. Roll the shoulders back. That's it. Take a couple of breaths. And then walk your right foot out to the right. Toes out. Hands down to blocks or your sticky mat. And then keep going to the extent that it feels right and good in your hands. You can absolutely rock onto the outer edge of the foot if that helps your stretch. Take 3 or 4 deep breaths. Okay, and now we're going to take the left hand right underneath the face. So you're going to have to come right back upright. And then rotate over towards your right leg. Right hand comes in the right inner thigh, and you can sort of drag that flesh towards the knee, and that's going to rotate you into the twist. You can make any adjustments that you need with that hand. Take a couple breaths. Last inhale. And then exhale, unwind. Let's get your right foot back into its lane. Inhale, straighten the back leg. Exhale, step forward to the top of the mat. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press through the feet, sweep the arms. Reach up and overhead, lift the chest. Exhale, release the arms. We'll do a few more. So moving a little bit more with the breath now. Inhale, be here in Tadasana. Exhale, bring the hands together, center of the heart. Inhale, press through the feet, sweep the arms up, lift up and overhead. Exhale, bow all the way down. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, left foot back, knee down. Inhale, fingertips up, lift the entire front of the body. Nice. Exhale, hands come down. Inhale to plank. And then this time I'm going to leave it up to you. You can come all the way to the floor with or without knees, halfway. And then inhale, roll into a back bend, cobra or upward facing dog. Press into the sticky mat, exhale, downward facing dog for 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale, reach the left heel up and back. Exhale, step it forward towards the top of the mat. Inhale, fingertips up, lift the chest. Exhale, hands come down. Inhale, straighten the back leg. Exhale, step forward, top of the mat. Inhale, press to the feet, sweep the arms. Up we come, Urdhva Hastasana, lift the chest. Exhale, release the arms. Inhale, exhale, hands together, center of the heart. Inhale, arms stretch up and overhead. Exhale, bow over your legs. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, right foot back. You can keep the knee up this time if you like. Inhale, up into a high lunge. Nice. Exhale, hands down. Inhale to plank. Exhale to the floor or halfway with or without your knees, however you like. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale, right heel reaches up and back. Exhale, bring it towards the top of the mat. The left knee can stay up or down, however you like. And then inhale, fingertips up, lift the chest. Nice. Exhale, hands down, step forward. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, press through the feet, sweep the arms up. Exhale, release the arms. Last one. Inhale, be right here. Exhale, hands together. Inhale, arms reach up, sweep overhead. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, left foot back, knee down or up. Inhale, fingertips up, lift the chest. Good. Exhale, hands come down. Inhale to plank. You could leave out the vinyasa or come half or all the way with or without your knees. Many good options. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog for 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale, stretch the left heel up and back. Exhale, step it forward between the hands. Inhale, stretch the fingertips up. Take your time as you exhale to fold and step forward. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, press through the feet, sweep the arms, reach overhead. Exhale, relax the arms. Let's take a pause in Tadasana. So yes, hands to prayer by your side, however you like. Close your eyes if that's comfortable and feel your body. How are you doing right now? Has anything changed since the beginning of class? Is there anything that could be tended to as we move through the second half of class? Maybe going a little bit slower or finding some energy to pick it up a bit or tending to something that part of your body or your heart that feels uncomfortable. Just notice if there's something like that. Right, and then go ahead and allow your eyes to open. Let's do standing balances. So I'm going to start by shifting the weight into the left foot. Bring your right knee up, and then we're going to turn it out. So we're getting that external rotation that I keep going on about. And then you can grab hold of your ankle and bring it into the thigh, the calf, or maybe the toes on the ground. These are all excellent choices. Feel everything come in towards the midline. You might feel yourself grow taller. If you like, if you're feeling steady and you want to, then the arms can come up and overhead. Take a couple of breaths. All right, and then let's bring the knee out front. I'm gonna go simple this time. Slide the hand down the shin until you have the ankle or the foot. And see about having neutral thighs, neutral femur bones. You can push the foot into the hand and go wherever you like. I'm feeling a little unsteady tonight and a little tired. So I'm just gonna stay more or less here and open the front of the body. But you could for sure take a big dancer pose if you wanted. Okay. So let's bring the knee out front again. And then again, with this practice of just noticing and becoming aware of how we can turn the thigh out. This time we're gonna hook the ankle over the knee and send the hips back. Come into any squat that you like, maybe hands to prayer, hands to the lower leg. I find that on nights like tonight, I'm just not super balanced if I can just get off my mat, especially if I have doubled up mat or I'm on carpet, just to have a more solid base can be really helpful. Good, just a couple more breaths here. And then press into the foot, inhale, come up. Let's just release the leg. We'll take it a little easy. You can shake it out. And then we'll do the second side. So weight comes into your right foot, left knee up. Thigh rotates out. And then we're just magically in tree pose. So grab hold of your ankle or just place your foot where it wants to go. And then feel your periphery come in towards the center so that you get nice and long and strong. And from there, if you like, you can stretch the arms up and overhead. Take 2 or 3 deep breaths. Bring the knee out front, release the arms, slide the left hand down the shin. And we'll do this sort of modified dancer pose, or some of you will, want to go all the way, you can, or stay a little more upright and just open the chest. This is a really good thing to do, along with the low lunges, to sort of undo all of the sitting. This is one of those kind of magical poses for that. All right. Taking your time, come back. One more time. That thigh, out it goes. But this time we're going to hook the ankle over the knee and sit back into a squat. 3 or 4 breaths. And then go ahead, push into the standing leg, take your time, come out. And now let's do the hip circle. So toes out, heels in, hands to hips, and we'll make circles in one direction. And in the other direction. Good. All right, and then back to standing in Tadasana. If you like, you can close your eyes. Let's take a moment for some inward gazing. What's happening inside of your body? How are you doing? Then let your eyes open. We're going to come through a sun salutation so that we can do some standing poses. So starting here, hands to prayer, take a moment. Wait for an inhalation, arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, bow forward, come all the way down. Inhale, bring your body halfway up. Exhale your way to plank or downward facing dog as you like. You can come through any vinyasa, or maybe it's a good time to start dropping those and just meeting us in down dog. Okay, and then from downward facing dog, we're going to do our standing pose sequence from the Warrior Two footprint. So reach your right leg up and back, and then exhale, step it forward, and make your way into Warrior Two. Yeah. Let's just straighten the front leg. So now we can examine, we were in the pose sort of like this earlier, similar, when we had the leg out to the side. So with the straight leg, you can notice a little bit of external rotation. And with the back leg, a little bit of internal rotation. So when you have that, I need a little bit, I have an ankle thing, so I'm just gonna give myself some support there. So when you have that sensation, external, internal, your legs get really powered up. They mean it. They're in the pose like they mean it. There's lots of energy and action. So from that base, inhale, lift the arms, but relax the shoulders. And then exhale, bend the right knee over the little toe side of the foot. Now we're coming into Warrior Two. Really feel the outer edge of your back foot. Almost like it's an isometric action with there's so much friction in the sticky mat, you're not going anywhere, but see if you can reach the heel. The energy as the heel is moving away from you. That might sort of pitch your body forward. So you have to counter that by pushing into the front foot and seeing about getting your spine towards vertical and inhabiting the back of the body. Soften the gaze over the middle finger. Let it go long to the horizon. Good. Turn the right palm up. Inhale, reach the fingertips up, get a nice long side stretch. And then exhale, let's move and rotate the pelvis over the heads of the femur bone, but not changing anything else about the legs, into side angle pose. You can have the elbow to the knee. We do have blocks nearby. So for sure, it can feel really nice to have your hand on a block. If there's any other variation that you like, any binds or anything, take it. And then check in with your legs. Can you feel the active engagement of your rotators so that the thigh is turning out a bit, turning towards the pinky toe side of the foot? And a little bit also, you feel the thigh bone of the back leg turning in a little bit. These two actions might start to feel like they're balancing each other out. Last breath. And then take the left fingertip straight up towards the ceiling. Have your hand either on your shin or on a block. And looking at your big toe, slowly straighten the leg. So back into Trikonasana, except now we have the arms. Here too, it's the same concept with the legs. And the one that gets lost in triangle pose a lot is the back leg. So you can really let that back thigh turn in, and your hip will drop a bit, which is totally fine. From that, you can lift the chest, rotate, maybe look up towards the ceiling if that's okay for your neck. Okay. Let's do Ardha Chandrasana for a couple of breaths. So you could stay in triangle pose or one last standing balance tonight. Looking forward about 18 inches or 2 feet. I've just shifted my weight over the front leg, reaching out through that back heel, and then any amount turning it open. Might keep my hand on my hip. Okay, and then let's all meet back in Warrior Two. Take your time. Reach the fingertips away from each other. And then inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, release the arms. Let's keep it nice and simple tonight and just switch sides. So we're not going to go through the whole vinyasa thing. Take your block with you if you were using it. And we're starting with straight legs. So turn the left foot out. It's like from the thigh. Turn the whole leg out. And then the back leg in a bit. And once you feel that engagement, so you've got the rotators working in the front, turning the leg out, and then inner thighs, glutes in the back. Inhale, lift the fingertips. Exhale, bend the left knee over the little toe side of the foot. You won't have to think about that if you keep that rotation in the thigh. And then feel yourself, if you can, balanced, not pitching forward, not leaning back. Eyes are soft and steady, off in the horizon. All right. Turn the left palm up. On an inhalation, reverse the warrior. Get a nice long stretch through the side of the body. And then exhale, the legs stay the same. It's just the pelvis that's rotating over the heads of the femur bones. And we're coming into side angle pose. I like, if I'm using a block, the block on the inside of the leg for side angle and the outside for triangle. So it takes a little shifting. I like it on the inside for side angle pose so that I can encourage that knee to go back behind me. And then if you want to take any arm variation, you can. The classic one is fingertips towards the ceiling and then turning the palm in the direction of your head and then reaching the fingertips away from the back leg. Notice, how are your legs doing? Are they energized and vigorous? You can use the idea of turning out at the hip joint in the front and in the back to encourage your legs to really be in the pose, to hold you steady, to balance it out. All right, look down at your big toe. See that you have your hand on something, your shin or a block. If you're on the block and it's on the inside of the foot, let's take it to the outside and then slowly, slowly straighten that leg for triangle pose. So same thing here with the, I don't want to just be so redundant, but coming back again and again, because this is the thing that I'm teaching, is understanding and feeling how the hips rotate, the thigh bones rotate in the hip joint. So feel that external rotation in the front leg. Feel a little engagement through the back leg. It's a little micro with the rotation, so I'm not going to get into that too much, but for sure the front leg, feel it. And then fingertips can reach up towards the ceiling. You take your gaze towards the ceiling if that feels okay, or straight ahead, or down at the big toe. Let's have 3 or 4 really deep breaths.
Is that hard?
All right. And then I think he asked if it's hard. It's hard, yes. It's hard. Okay, we're gonna go, if you want to, into the standing balance. So it'll get even harder. I'm gonna look forward and just shift my weight. It might be that I'm only coming up a little bit, or it might be that I decide to do some other pose, like warrior 2 or child's pose or down dog, or we come on up into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose with the back leg nice and strong. Maybe fingertips reach up towards the ceiling. Just a couple of breaths. And begin to make your way down, back to warrior 2. Just for a beat, really be there in the pose, establish it. And on an inhalation, straighten the front leg. Exhale, release the arms. Let's turn the feet so they're parallel-ish. We'll do Prasarita Padasana, which is the wide-legged forward fold. So the feet are parallel-ish, what feels even to you. Take a moment, find that, feel nice and grounded. Let's have the hands and the hips to start. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chest up. Yeah, if you're down, it's okay, you don't have to come up. And then let's come down on an exhalation. Relax the head, relax the neck. Maybe you feel gravity create some traction in the spine, especially if you can really relax your head and your neck. Okay. And then bring your hands to your outer hips. Press down through the feet. Maybe the knees are generously bent and come up to stand. Good. Let's step the feet together and just take a pause in Tadasana. Maybe the eyes close or you have a soft gaze. Check in. How are you doing now? What is the residue of the practice so far in your body, in your heart, in your belly? Okay, and then let your eyes open. We're going to do pigeon pose. So I suggest that you have some props around, like blocks. If you have a bolster is great. Definitely a blanket. It'd be great for this to be a very pleasant experience in pigeon. So I know I usually like to have a bolster and a blanket, which I didn't pull a blanket. Do that. And then you can either come through vinyasa and go all the way down, down dog, chaturanga, all of that, or you can meet me. I'm just going to come from all fours and keep things simple for myself. It depends on your energy. How are you doing? All right. And then maybe a couple of cat and cows here while we're in all fours. Okay. And then come back through a neutral spine and simply step your right foot forward for pigeon pose. And if pigeon pose doesn't work for your knees, either someone here or if you're watching the video, let me show you, you can do the figure 4 pose on your back or any other pose that would feel good. Sometimes I feel like that is not an equally appealing suggestion. I'm still looking for one. All right, and so I'm going to support my right hip with a little blanket or something so that I can be absolutely supported. All the parts of my body that are touching the ground are actually touching the ground. Nothing is flowing, sort of hanging out. And then we're going to do a back bend first. So first, take your back foot. Unfortunately, I'm not in the right position, but tuck your toes on your left foot, lift up the knee, and then roll that leg in a bit to square your hips. From here, with your blocks, roll the shoulders back, lift the chest. Nice. And you can definitely in this pose feel the relationship between rooting down in the legs and lifting up into the back bend. There's an option here to bend the left knee and grab hold of the foot. Just an option. It might be, no thanks. It might be there. It might be too far to reach and it's more proprioceptive. You're kind of figuring out how in your body it feels where the foot is. Wherever you are, take a couple of breaths. Okay. And then I promise you, we'll do the forward fold. I've said that to the last 3 classes and then I didn't do it, but I'm not going to be like that tonight. We have time, so we're going to do the forward fold, but I'd like to do the back bends first. So go ahead and step back either to down dog or to all fours. and we'll get ready for the second side. So I just moved my blanket over so that I'm ready. And then it's the left knee is coming forward. The shin, sometimes the cue, like the shin is parallel to the top of the sticky mat is given. And to be honest, I don't think I've ever seen anybody who's actually able to do that. So I'm not giving that cue. It's mine is much more diagonal. Okay, so as you can see, and now I'm putting some support underneath that hip. Got my hands on my block. With the right leg, the leg behind you, tuck the toes, lift the knee up, and then rotate it in. You'll feel your hip also shift down. Release that. And then let's be here in a little bit of a back bend. So there, who knows, the appropriate height of the block for you could be different. You can root down through your shin, your legs, roll your shoulders back, lift the chest. It's Ekapada Raja Kapotasana, one-legged king pigeon pose. And so it's the king pigeon. So there's this like, you know, this sort of Raja means royal, this royal stance through the chest. Nice. If you wanted to go back and grab hold of the foot, you certainly could. Take another breath or two. Okay, and then let's let that go. Good job. That's the hardest thing I have planned for us. Now we can do, let's sit for a moment back on the heels. I don't really want to go right into the forward fold after that big back bend. So let's just sit back. You can have your hands on your thighs and feel your body. Take just a moment for yourself. And then when you're ready, we'll do pigeon pose the way that people tend to love. I love the back bend too. I think they're both great. So we're going to take the right leg. Whatever support that you had before is probably going to be useful. And then you might want to have something, because we're lying down, so you could have a bolster or something to put your torso on. You might tuck the toes and roll the thigh in, but we're really here to relax at this point and stretch. So no need to be super precise or technical. Just come down and take a comfortable sleeping pigeon pose. Make any adjustments so that you're comfortable. We're going to be here for 10 or 15 breaths. Okay, take your time, walk your hands back. No rush. And then we'll come to all fours or to downward facing dog as your preference. Move your props to the other side. And then we'll come with the left leg. So bringing that forward, sending the hips back. You can make the adjustment with the back leg of tucking the toes and rolling the thigh in a bit to square the hips. Make sure that you're nice and supported. And then whenever you're ready, come on down. And then take your time, walk your hands back. And then we'll just bring the back leg around front so that we're sitting down. I would take your bolster, your blanket so that you have some height. And let's have Baddha Konasana. So the soles of the feet are together. The knees are wide. And before we go in, I've been enjoying this moment, coming back to the feet for a moment and just giving my feet a little bit of a massage. They're right here, so you can use your thumbs and massage out the arches of your feet, walnut joints of your toes, the toes themselves. So take a moment with your feet. That's it. And then when you're ready, nice and gentle, very yin-like, inhale, lift the arms. And exhale, go ahead and come forward any amount, doesn't have to be a lot. Wherever you end up, see if you can relax your head and your temples, jaw and tongue. Okay, and then slowly we're going to walk the hands back up. Use the hands, bring the knees together. One more seated pose, Paschimottanasana, legs straight out in front. See if you can get nice and upright on your sit bones. That looks great. And then inhale, arms lift. Exhale, come forward, ideally moving first from your hips and then letting your spine round. If you have something nearby that is the right height to rest your forehead, then I recommend that. It feels really nice. Okay, and then slowly we'll come back up. And we're going to go to the ground. So a few things before Shavasana, we are going to have a longish Shavasana. But so since we're going to do that, eventually you might want to grab, we already have a lot of props out, I think, but just make sure you have what you want for Shavasana. If you want to put on another layer, then do that. And come to lie down on your back with your knees bent. We're not going to do any more big back bends tonight. We did a really big back bend with the pigeon pose, so I think that that's sufficient. We'll do instead some gentle dynamic bridge poses. So really just all about the breath. No need to get into any big back bend or worry about any particular technique or alignment cue. Instead, just feel the ground underneath you and drop into the sensations of your breath. You could stay right here and just breathe, or if you'd like, then wait for an inhalation, press into the feet. The hips are going to come up a little bit and the arms will go overhead, keeping it nice and soft. And then exhale slowly, everything comes back down. So Really letting it be all about the breath, inhaling, hips up, arms overhead, exhaling down. You can see about linking the movement up with the breath. So that more or less they're of the same duration, or the breath might be slightly longer. Couple more. Okay, and then the next time that your hips are up, you can either stay there, or if it would be more soothing, then bring the arms down and the hips down, and then slide a block at the low height underneath your sacrum and have a bit of a restorative bridge pose. That's what I'm going to choose to do. So I've got the block really low on my spine, really low. So the flesh of my buttocks is, basically right there, all the way down. My tailbone's just off the back end of the block. Or you can keep your hips up in a gentle bridge, however you like. Let's stay for 10 or 15 breaths. Okay, and then when you're ready, we'll all meet back on the floor, knees bent. Please take your feet mat distance so they're wide and the knees fall in. Breath or two here, constructive rest. Feet wide, knees together. And then if you like, bring your arms to a T. We're going to windshield wiper the knees from side to side. So you can link this with the breath as well. Inhale, they come to center. And exhale, they go to the side. And then the next time that your knees are over to the left, you can let them stay. If you would prefer to do a deeper twist, then bring the knees together and take the more traditional twist. Or you can have this open one, which opens up a bit more the almost the psoas, the real deep core muscles. They're both good choices. If you have the feet wide in the windshield wiper version, then you might enjoy crossing the left ankle over the right knee. And then if you do have that hook, let it go. The knees will come up over center and then to your second side. And again, you can have this wide, gentle twist with the side body opening. I don't think that has a Sanskrit name, or come into just a reclined twist with the knees together. That's more commonly done. Either way. And then release the knee if you have it. Bring the knees back up to center. If there's any finishing pose that you'd like to do, maybe hugging the knees in towards the chest or anything like that, and take a moment for yourself and go ahead and do that. And when you're ready, come on into Shavasana. We have a lot of props out at this point, I think. So if you have a bolster or a rolled up blanket that you'd like to place under your knees, that can be really nice. Make sure that you're warm enough. If you want support for your head, grab that. If you have an eye covering, that can be really delicious to soothe the nervous system with a little less light. Allow your body to completely relax. A few minutes, nowhere to go, nothing to do. Shavasana.
vitur vereniam Bargo devasya dhimahi Diyo yona prachodayat. Begin to come back into the room. Right. Make little adjustments with your fingers and toes. Rotate your wrists and ankles. And then when you're ready, bend the knees one at a time, bring the soles of the feet to the floor and roll to one side or the other side. Take a breath or two. Enjoy the comfort of the fetal position. And then when you're ready, use your hands and come up to sit. If you like, you might have your hands together at the center of the heart. And take one last time here together this evening to notice how you're doing. Have you cultivated some new sense of well-being through your practice? Maybe ease or relaxation, sense of strength. If so, allow that sense of well-being to seep into every cell of your body. Be there with it for a moment. On your next inhalation, lift the chest into the thumbs. And as you exhale, surrender the head to the heart. Inhale, lift the chin, release the palms, and allow the eyes to open. Okay, thank you, Linda. Thank you, Robin. I'm going to teach on Thanksgiving at 9:30 in the morning. So I'm not, of course, going to teach at 5:30, but I'll be here in the morning if you'd like to take class on Thanksgiving Day. And then I'm out for a couple of Thursdays and a Saturday because I'm doing some traveling. So maybe I'll see you at Thanksgiving 9:30. And either way, I hope you have a good holiday and I'll see you soon.
Thank you. We're out of town too, but I'm going to watch
Okay,
okay,
great. Good.
Thanks.
All right. Have fun. Have a good trip.
Yep, you too.